Let me show you how to extract images from a website and store them in a desired location using Python. Before diving deeper into image extraction, I highly recommend checking our blog post on Python web scraping to better understand how to build a basic web scraper. Follow link on the top right. I'll reuse parts of the code from there as well. With that said, let's get started. You can use quite a few libraries to extract pictures from a website. In our basic web scraping tutorial, Beautiful Soup, Selenium and Pandas were used to gather and output data into CSV file. Let's repeat all these steps to export image URLs as well. Of course, getting image URLs into a list isn't enough. You'll need to use several other packages to store the URL content into a variable, convert it into an image object, and then save it to a specified location. The pillow and requests libraries will do this job. Open your terminal and install the following. The pillow library will process the images, requests will send HTTP requests, and PyArrow is required as a dependency for pandas. Additionally, use built-in Python packages such as IO, pathlib, and hashlib to download images from a website and store them in a specified folder. For this guide, I'll use eBay's product listing page with the search keyword laptop. Here's what the listing page along with the HTML source looks like. Notice that each image in the HTML source is enclosed in a div element with a class sItem image wrapper image treatment. Also, the images are within the img tags with a source URL in the src attribute. For data extraction, first import the packages. Then specify your preferred browser for WebDriver. Select the URL from which to scrape image links and create a list to store them. After the Chrome driver opens the URL, the content variable points to the page source, and then Beautiful Soup prepares data for parsing. Currently, the code runs the driver in a headful mode. You can run it without GUI by specifying the headless mode. To store the executable browser driver in a custom location, specify the directory by creating a Chrome service instance with a path to your driver. Then pass it to the WebDriver instance as a service. In the aforementioned tutorial, actions were performed using built-in and defined functions. It's an extremely useful tool for just about any project. Let's move the URL scraper into a defined function. Reuse the same code from the general Python web scraping tutorial and repurpose it to extract full URLs. Here's before. And here's after. Note that now it appends in a different manner. Instead of appending the text, the code uses another function, get, and adds a new parameter source to it. The source parameter indicates a field on the website where image links are stored. In this case, the image links are in the src HTML tag. You know the classes, locations, and sources of the images you want to scrape from the previous section. Thereby, you can call your newly defined function like this. The code should now look like this. It's useful to export data to a CSV file so you can always check for semantic errors. To do this, use pandas and add the following lines to your code. If you run the code now, you should get the links.csv file created right in the running directory. Here's a partial snippet of that CSV file with the extracted image URLs. Now let's download images from a website. Use the request library to extract content stored in the image URL. These code lines use a for loop that iterates over the results list. Next, use the I/O library to create a byte object from image content and store data in a new variable. So far, the image file is just a Python object. Convert it to an RGB image with the pillow library. The code is not yet complete, as you need to find a place to store the image data. Let's create a folder called test. And now combine all of the previous steps and see how it all works out. Note that the pandas library is grayed out in your code as it isn't used. Let's keep it for the sake of convenience. Use it if you need to see or double check the outputs. For efficiency, you should quit WebDriver by using the driver quit function after retrieving the URL list. You no longer need the browser as everything is stored locally. Running the code can produce one of the two results. First, images are outputted into your selected folder by defining the file path variable. Second, Python outputs a 403 forbidden error. Getting the first result means your code worked as intended, and your image destination folder should look like this. You are likely to receive the second result when scraping a website with strict anti-bot measures, since the 403 forbidden error means that the target site has denied your request. Fixing the second outcome will take some time in most cases, although there can be more difficult scenarios. Whenever you use the requests library to send a request to the destination server, a default user agent is assigned. Some web services might block such requests as the default user agent points to the use of the requests library. However, the requests library allows you to assign any user agent or an entire header. Adding a user agent is enough for most scenarios. In more complex cases, servers may try to check other parts of the HTTP header to confirm it's a genuine user. You can learn more about HTTP headers on our blog, a link on the top right. Also, we have an in-depth video tutorial on how to bypass the 403 forbidden error. Find it in the video description below. The image extraction process is now finished, but the code still looks quite messy. Putting everything under defined functions, you can make your application more readable and reusable. Now everything is nested under clearly defined functions and can be called when imported. Otherwise, it will run as it had previously. With this code, you can download all images from a website in one go. If you have any questions, drop a comment below. Send an email to support@oxylabs.io or write us via the live chat on our website. Also, consider joining our Discord community, link in the description below. Don't hesitate to share your struggles when dealing with public data collection, and consider subscribing if you want us to address them in upcoming videos. And remember that you can try all of our Scraper APIs for free to greatly simplify the process shown in this video. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time.